Hello, friends. Hi. Sorry for the delayed start today. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. Hello, all. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. This is the attorney, Marina Shepelsky, coming to you live from New York. And I'm here to talk about the immigration news and other things that are important in today's immigration climate. Um, just gonna give a few minutes for you guys to start joining in. Hello, everyone. So I'm here to talk about immigration news as you're joining in. And please drop me in the comments if you could hear me. And just put like a little plus if you could hear me. Just like a little plus. Plus sign if you can hear me well. I'm going to connect to my Instagram friends here. This way I can see your comments on my screen and answer them. So, my name is Marina Shepelsky. For our new viewers, I'm an immigration lawyer with over 23 years experience doing immigration law. Hi, Osman. Hello. Somebody else was saying hello. From Miss Jishan. Hello from Texas, from SU. Hello. Nice to see you. So, I'm an immigration lawyer and I practice immigration. Oh, thank you. Adriana is following my request and posting a. Thank you so much. Blessing. Collins is here as well. Thank you so much. Drop a comment where you're watching me from. A little bit about myself and my background. I'm an immigrant from Ukraine, the former Soviet Union. I came here because of a special law that Congress had passed in the 70s for that for the people who let people from the Soviet Union leave if they had religious problems, as we did in the country. So we are here because of a special law, like an amnesty for some immigrants from USSR. The USSR doesn't exist anymore, but thank God I'm still here. And I came here when I was a teenager and became a lawyer because I love helping people and I love helping immigrants. And this is sort of like my talent. Adriana is from Danbury, Connecticut. Welcome. Good morning. Uh, some news we will be discussing in a minute, but in the world news, thank you for asking me. I'll leave crime. The question is in Pakistan and India. If you don't know, there was a terrorist act by Pakistan on Indian territory. A lot of Hindus died, and India had retaliated like yesterday, basically. And they did like unlimited military operation. Things are not good right now. And basically, a war is beginning between India and Pakistan. There's a war between Russia and Ukraine. Basically, I see it as World War III in a different style than we had in World War II, where there's just fighting not so much as countries combining forces, more like there's country on country. So can you file for asylum based on this? Yes, you can. You can. And you could take a break for that because there's a war going on one side or the other. So yes, again, let's talk about immigration news. There's been so much other than world news. There's a lot going on in the world too. And thank you for Ali Khan asking the question, and thank you for watching your YouTube. But yes, there's a new situation between India and Pakistan. Definitely a way to ask for asylum. But also, there's a lot going on here in the United States. The first thing that comes to mind is that Trump had announced that he is going to give $1,000 to anybody who proves they're self-deported and registered on the CBP Home app. So if you want to self-deport, you go home, they're saying "Hey, you get money for it. You're deported. Why? Because they calculated that it takes the government about $17,000 of spending money on a deportation per person. So if somebody leaves for 1,000, that's a great saving, and they're happy to give you money if you self-deport. The other thing that's interesting is it wasn't in the news, but it's being reported by our colleagues from the American Immigration Lawyers Association is that they're posting these flyers and also on social media that you should self-deport if you're illegal here, it will be safer, cheaper. Like they list all these benefits of self-deporting. Obviously, a lot of propaganda right now. It's like public relations idea from the Trump administration that people should be self-deporting. They take that with a grain of salt. If you have a case, you don't have to self-deport. If you have immigration removal proceedings and you file for asylum in the court system, you don't have to deport until they tell you that you're denied. If you are in process, you are not illegal. You're legal if you're in the process of a TD, FAWA, of cancellation of removal. Whatever it is, you are not illegal. So don't listen to those stupid flyers for the same reason that I tell people not to call USCIS for legal advice for what they should do. Because they will always tell you to leave. Okay? Obviously, if you came without a visa or if your visa had expired, if you call customer service for USCIS, they will tell you to leave. Of course, that is their job. If I worked for the government, that's what they would be paid to say. Just think about that. So please be careful listening to this really bad advice that they're giving out. And of course, I'm not advocating being legally person. I'm saying if you are, we can help you legalize. Our phone numbers are on the bottom of the screen. On Instagram, right in my profile. So that's the news right now. Oh, let's see. There's a lot going on, so I'm going to just double check what is in the system that I wanted to discuss. Mm. We now started. Okay, so if anybody has social media and you follow ICE, you follow. They all have accounts. You have USCIS account. You have ICE. You have EOIR. The court system. They're now starting to post about the cases where they have like court picked up and detained somebody and they're deporting somebody because um, they want to show what they can do to you to steer you into self-deporting. So they are posting a lot of that type of stuff in their news. If you're following, USCIS investigation leading to a conviction of an Indian citizen for submitting fraudulent immigration application. So this guy was Hussein submitted a false statement for Obama, and he was convicted criminally for this fraud. And so the records and evidence presented at his trial, his fraud paper conviction, there's he traveled to Connecticut in October 2021 for entering marriage, a fake citizen. He never saw a woman prior to or after the date of the wedding. He paid for the insurance policy and he was the owner of his cars, magazines in her name, and ordered merchandise in her name, who created evidence that her living together in Orlando. Then he went to an urgent care facility and falsely claimed that he was his wife. He submitted fake evidence and medical records for this, and his roommate said that his wife in the court proceedings that they never lived together in Florida, never could have a baby. So they arrested him in federal court before Trump even came to the presidency in 2023, the wire fraud conspiracy charge, and that's where wire fraud. Actually, not so much of the papers, but the wire fraud, and they posted about this in the news to USCIS. I'm just reading to show you, as I always say, big situation, do not do it. It's not worth it. Okay. Um, then another news they posted in individual is that they dismantled an operation and arrested 10 people who were like creating fake marriage. Um, they held FBI investigation for somebody who was plotting a terrorist attack relating to election day. So things like that are in the news. Uh, the judge said that the Trump administration may not use the 1700 old law called the Anti Act. They blocked them from using it, and they were using it in court and as well gangsters. Anyway, they thought they were gangsters very quickly without a hearing and stuff like that. But the judge stopped it for now. U.S. may soon be deporting immigrants to Libya because I think that the U.S. military had made some sort of arrangements with Libya to deport people there directly. So Rwanda, it's a country in Africa, it was in the early stage of negotiating with the U.S., while Benin, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Swatini, and Moldova have already said that they agreed to take the deportation flights from the government in the U.S. Um, so it doesn't mean that they're only going to be deporting people from Libya there. For example, last week, Uzbekistan, the country, one of the former Soviet countries, had agreed to accept their own deportees, also people from Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, two separate neighboring countries. So Uzbekistan said, send all these people here, we'll take them. So that's what's going on with immigration. This is creating a lot of anxiety, not just inside the West, but people who are here legally, like people who are waiting for their case to be called because they have arrested people inside USCIS who had filed a family petition. But also people with green card citizens and even tourists. They're really worried because there's been news of a Canadian and a German person being detained by ICE for like days and even a couple of weeks, and they're afraid to travel here. We have been telling people to avoid travel, even if you have a green card or advance parole. Just if you don't have to, right now is not the best time to travel. And if you have a green card for a long time, you need to quickly file for US because there's no reason why you have a green card and you're holding off on getting a US passport. You're risking a lot. So that's what we are, here to discuss today. I think more or less I'm done with that part. If you guys want to write where you're watching me from, drop me a comment and I'm going to give you a shout out. And I'm going to slowly start answering some questions. Everything I say here is for educational purposes only. I'm not giving anybody legal advice. Please, if you have a difficult situation, call the office, schedule a consultation. That is the best thing you can do. You also could try to go on our website, click the booking link, But if you don't want to do that alone, you can call. We will do the concierge service for you. Schedule the consultation for you. Um, Question from Emma Hossein. He says he had an obligor, like a sponsor. She got lost. She doesn't know where to find her. The person who deposited the money is lost. How can I get the money back? I'm not sure how to deal with this. Sorry about that. Uh, Blessings Collins says, "Good morning, Marina. I got my work permit and social for 1 year. I'm waiting for a follow-up petition. It's being processed. How long does it take until I get my green card?" So the processing time for VAWA from the time you filed takes around 3.5 to 4 years. Between 3.5 to 4 years, and then it's just a VAWA card. It might take another 6 to 9 months for the green card to follow. So it is quite a long time, and the U visa is also 5.5 to 6 years. And Zama says, "Hi, I'm from Uganda, Africa, and I still process the three visa when I don't have a high school diploma. What are the requirements?" You can be in the other workers category, but that category is like at least 6 years wait time, depending where you are. Well, you are not from Mexico or India, so that's good. From Uganda, it will take around 6 years. Let me just double check. And I want to show my screen for people who are watching this on YouTube and on Facebook, because it's really interesting that you could also do this yourself. That's the point to show you guys. Okay, so you will see on my screen, the screen. Well, again, you guys on Instagram, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. My friends here on YouTube and on Facebook, please take a look. So for immigration, employment visas, immigrant employment visas like EB3, I go down and I scroll to the chart number B, dates for filing of employment visa based application for anybody inside US. If you're inside US, you're going to be looking at chart B, and you're going to be looking at other workers category. They're looking now at June 2021, plus the time that the labor certification will take. And if you are outside of US, you're looking at chart A. If you're outside of Rwanda, you're going to be looking at A. They're also looking at 2021 May, plus the year and a half that it takes. I would say 5 to 6 years for that wait time. All right, I'm back. I have a question on Instagram as well. So let me talk to you guys. American pay taxes such high from Chicago. Uh, Abdullah says India bad work. Um, Regina 19115 says, "Hi Marina, I have a travel document which I got from Java. I was already 2 times in my home country, divided, and now I travel under Trump. Is it safe? My Georgian friend with a flag or via Pakistan. I don't think it's safe to travel under Trump. I don't think it's safe anymore. If you have to go, please be so careful because there's your phones and your notebook computers, any kind of devices you have. So, like an iPad, be careful what's in there. If you ever posted anything against Trump, if you posted something in support of like Hamas or ISIS or other organizations like that, terrorist organizations, they will arrest you and deport you or not even let you in the country. So you work so hard, you're waiting for power so long. It's now really a good time to play games like this. I don't think so. Unless somebody is dying or like really sick, that's a different story. If not, please don't. Unsquashed says I was granted asylum and now I'm a green card holder for 3 years. My father-in-law passed away. use my home country passport to travel to another country, not home country for funeral. Yes, yeah. I hope you have the refugee. Well, you have a green card. You can go with your green card to another country. Yes, people with green cards can travel to other countries. No problem. Just forcing people to not travel to the home country if you get asylum. Because that doesn't make sense. But 216 says, how about can I start the SJIS SIDS special immigrant petition case? I'm 18 years old. Is it too late? Usually no, but it depends on the state. And the reason is because the first step is to ask the family court to appoint you a guardian. Some states will not appoint a guardian once the child turns 18. New York and California, for example, will do. So depending about 216, where you're from, right? That's how I know we can proceed with this. You might want to maybe even move and live for 6 months in New York or in California. We work in New York. I'll be happy to help you to do this, okay? Right. So, Jesus Sanchez says, hi, hello there. Let's talk more about the things that are going on in the news. I have a little bit of time right now. As you may know, on May 7th today, the Real ID Act goes into effect. So anybody traveling inside US either has to have a real driver license or non-driver ID from the state when they confirm your immigration status and your address. The Real ID, I already have it. It has like a little star, a gold star. Or if you don't have that, just a regular driver's license will not work to travel. You will need to travel with your unexpired foreign passport. But a visa, you can only do it if you have an unexpired visa or you prove your visa status in US when you do that. So, be very careful about how you can be traveling. Even inside US without leaving US. You know? Let's see. This is also in the news. USCIS has allowed ICE to arrest people in the waiting areas of USCIS. So if you have a pending family petition, but you came here with no visa, they could grab and arrest you right in the ICE, um, right in the US. ICE can arrest you right in the USCIS waiting room, where you're like sitting there waiting. They never give a warning. They've also and whether they have a green card or not, but if you get arrested for a criminal case, they have been arresting people in the criminal courtrooms and outside the court, and there's a judge that stood up to them and like took people out through her private back door for the judge to use to avoid getting arrested in the waiting room to her courtroom, and the FBI had arrested the judge for helping hide an illegal alien. So she's now facing criminal charges herself. So they're really pressuring and pressing down on anyone who tries to help undocumented immigrants. That means now is not the time to get arrested and go to criminal court, and it's never been a good thing before either. But now of all times, you have to stay low, do not get arrested, and get deported. Although sometimes they will release you on bail. I'm who just did, a friend of mine. So it happens, but be very, very careful. What happens is they release you on bail, they're trying to expedite it proceeding. Very quickly, you'll have to present your case to him if you're not ready, like 2 or 3 weeks, or silent, or whatever it is that you are planning to use to defend from being deported because you are afraid to return to your country. And you're trying to present with a defense like you're waiting for a visa. Bob Tarot is not safe to travel with advanced parole and detention because they come up with just any reason to turn people away. Even forget about advanced parole, even with the green card, they're really questioning people. I spoke to somebody who traveled with a conditional green card, so a green card, but she husband with her, and when she came back from a trip without her husband, they really pressed down on her and questioned her. And at that time, they were filed for divorce. So she explained to them that they're not together. They filed for divorce. They didn't really care. Right? It took her many hours of questioning of being helped by the CBP in the week. So this was a very unpleasant experience, even green card holders are going through right now. Someone is asking the same thing that I just asked about the advanced parole work authorization card. It is not safe right now to travel with your advanced parole green card. Now, some people are telling us they had to go to rent and everything was fine, but you could get the bad officer will start checking your phone, your laptop, your MacBook, or iPad. I actually recommend not to bring anything to travel. So even your phone, and they log into your apps, they see your messages, they see your posts. Even if you didn't post anything, but you were texting people, you support Hamas, you're for Palestine against Israel. You are for, I don't know, Pakistan, where they attacked India right now. That's this week's news. Against Trump, we could deport you right at the border. Forget about your VAWA case or your EU visa or T visa or whatever else you're waiting for. Even you could lose your green card. So super, super careful. I'm replying to Sean and Dama Warrior right now. Jazzy Khan wants to know, I applied for prosecutorial discretion and filed a joint motion to reopen and my proceedings. I approve. I assume you're going to ask me how long will it take. They're not aggressive anymore, so I hope that your has refiled this to the judge. Okay, they sent it right now to the ICE legal department, and the ICE legal department was forbid to do this anymore. So you could be waiting until the next presidency. If you want to have something happen right now, ask your lawyer to submit this motion directly to the judge and not to ICE because they were told by their management not to agree to these things. Uh, Is this Ismael wants to know if it's a good thing to travel to Canada with advanced parole based on. If you're traveling with your spouse, maybe, but I would be very hesitant right now. Elba 216 says, how can I reach out? I would love for you to friend up with me. Thank you. My information is in my profile. It's attorney. Click on my picture. You will see all of my information. Everything. All right. We are getting to the end of the show. I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I will say see you later. Elvis Presley says, I'm waiting for almost 2 years for my returning residence in Mumbai. That's normal. I'm going to say yes and no. And sometimes it's normal. Yes, it means you have an administrative investigation going on, and it's not telling you. There's nothing you can do. You just wait. These are the times we live in. Nothing you can do. Oh my God. So I want to just end with saying, because I see a lot of questions about this. Travel right now is not a good idea if you don't have the move. It's just not a good idea. If you can avoid it, if it's not an emergency, do not travel. That's the lesson of today. I hope everybody has a safe week. Thank you for all of your questions. This will be saved on my account and recording. If you want to go back and re-listen about the news, about the questions, about travel, your advance parole, or your condo partner, even with your partner right now, I wouldn't recommend it. If you take one thing away, that's one thing I would want you to take away from the show. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Mwah! See you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.